pro tips for quoting lawns and gardening services. Jump in the ute and we'll go for a drive and we'll discuss all about it. G'day viewers, Jeff McPhee's Gardening Services. Hope you're enjoying the ride in my ute. Today's subject, I'm going to talk about how to estimate gardening and lawn mowing services like a pro. And why I say like a pro, because I regard quoting as one of the most important aspects of running your business. Because if you don't get it right, your business is going to fail. Because it's important at the end of the day, when everything's paid for, all our running costs, we've got money in the bank, in that it's profit. Not our wage, but we want to have a little bit of profit. And it may take some time. This is not going to happen overnight when you first start out. It might take months, it might take years for some people. It just depends on your luck and depends on your hard work. Now, the important thing with estimating how much to charge for a gardening or lawn mowing job is you've got to know your numbers. And to know your numbers, we did a video many moons ago about how to work out your hourly rate. Now, working out your hourly rate, as you probably know, we must add up all of our running costs, not bits and pieces, but everything that relates to your business. You know, from the running costs of your vehicles, your mowers, your tools, your replacement of your mowers, your vehicle, your tools, the insurances, the accountants, it goes on and on and on, including your wage, including your profit, including your taxes that you've got to have to pay. It's all got to be included to work out your hourly rate. And the other important thing is the billable hours. Now, this billable hours, it's really important that you understand how many hours that you actually can work. Now, if I employed somebody for 40 hours a week and 50 weeks of the year, there's 2,000 hours roughly. The time you take out downtime, wet weather, public holidays, sick days, extra holidays, travelling times, which is a big factor in billable hours, might be lucky to get 1,000, 1,200 hours of effective work. And that's the same as a solo operator. To me, I work on 1,000 billable hours a year. If I want to make more money, I've got two options. I can either increase my hourly rate or I can increase my billable hours. In other words, work harder, work longer. Now, that's okay when I'm young, it's okay when I'm starting out in business, and that's something you probably have to do. But if you want to be in it for the long run, the longevity, which we've talked about before, you've got to work out how to work smarter and not harder. So sometimes you may have to sacrifice a little bit of hard work, sacrifice maybe $1 or $2 so that you keep on going. We've gone through that before. So how do we estimate, how do we price jobs? All right, lawn mowing, it's really easy lawn mowing because it's dictated by the market, what the market will pay, what everybody's charging in your area. In my area, for a standard block, it's $80, roughly, between $70 to $80. It might be more if it's a larger block, but that's the minimum price I charge for my particular area. Another area I go to, which is a higher end area, the lawns are a little bit more manicured, they're at least $100 per lawn. Yet some lawns in a lower area, in a socio-economical sense, nothing wrong with that, by the way, you might only get $60 for the lawn. So it depends on how much, in which area that you work, which area that you target that you're going to get for a lawn. So it's important you understand that. Now, how do I find that out? Normally you can ask the contractor. If you ask any contractor, a good decent operator, he'll let you know, because he wants the prices up there. He doesn't want cowboys coming in charging low prices. So it's important for him to get you, as a newcomer, to charge a higher price You might not charge as much as them, but you'll charge near what they charge because you've got to make $1 too. There's no good in charging, low rates. And of course, lawn mowing, you can increase your profit margin tremendously by having the root density, by having several houses or lawns in the same street or close in a compact area, because travel is the killer of making money for mow and blows. That's the biggest killer. Travelling, talking to customers, packing up, unpacking, all these things all add up. Now, the second important thing is estimating for gardening, garden cleanups, hedging, garden makeovers, mulching, etc. These ones are really hard to estimate because you've got to work out how long it's going to take you. Because when you're starting out, you've got no idea. You haven't got the skill set and you're probably not quite sure how long it's going to take you. So if you use an hourly rate that's probably close to a professional, you're probably not going to get the job because he's going to do it in half the time. Now, I'll tell you a story. I don't normally quote anymore because all of my customers generate enough work for me to go right throughout the year. But it so happens one day I had this lovely customer that requested I give him a quote. And it was a really nice property. And it was just a little clean-up. And I thought, I'll give it a go and see if I've still got the touch. So I rocked up and, do the old things, prompt, reliable, professional, looked the part, professional and all that sort of stuff as we do when we're rocked up to the door. And I haven't mentioned it before, but what I always say to the customer, now listen, I'm going to work out a quote. Now, suppose you'll be getting other quotes. And what they do is they say, oh no, we just want a price. And you think you've probably got the job because if they like you, you've impressed them, you're going to get the job within means, within reason, of course, with the money. But in this particular case, the lady said, oh no, I've got to get 3 quotes. And I said, yeah, that's fine. So I thought, well, I better just, I'll see if I still got the touch. I'll make sure my numbers are right. I'll go over it a couple of times and just see where I stand. Because I really wanted to do the job, actually, funnily enough, because it's nice to do something, see how you're going. Anyway, I missed out on it. And I thought, yeah, fair enough, there we go. Anyway, my best friend, he's a lawn mowing, he's a gardening contractor. He got it. He got the job. And he charges just as much as me, if not a little bit more. And he's a really good operator. And I thought, damn, how did he, so I saw him. Hey, listen, mate, you got that job. I went for it too. He said, yeah, I heard. And I said, what did you charge? Because we can talk like that. It's good to be able to talk to another contractor. We can talk and say, what we charge and how we go about it. So he told me, and it was so much cheaper than I did. And I said, listen, mate, you're slipping, and what are you doing? He said, well, it's only going to be a 2-hour job. And I'm thinking to myself, well, it's actually going to be 3.5, maybe a little bit more. And it struck me there and then. I'm getting old. I'm getting slower. So I had to rethink the way I quote because I can't work as fast as I used to. I might have the skill set, but I haven't got the speed like my mate did, and he got the job. But it was funny, I said to him, geez, mate, now you got the job, you worked hard, you worked faster than me, but you got paid less because you get paid less for being more efficient. And if I'd have got the job, I'd have got more than him. Well, of course, he got the job, of course. But it just shows you that the art of estimating and pricing a job, so many variables. And sometimes you can go in a little bit too dear because you're too slow, which in my case, I'm suffering that. I don't have to worry too much now at the end of my career because I got such good customers, we don't have to quote, it's just a charge out rate of what I do. But if I'm starting out again, and if I'm starting out in my mature years, think about your body, think about your capabilities. As if you're a younger person starting out, think about your limitations, what you can and what you can't do. Only do jobs that you're confident in doing and then slowly build yourself up to do the better jobs as you go along. But just don't underestimate the time factor, don't underestimate your own abilities. Just make sure that you're spot on in as far as approaching and how to do the job. All right, there you go, a bit of food for thought. Thanks for watching and please subscribe, and I'd love to hear your comments on it. I'm sure there'll be lots of comments on it, and thanks again. All right, viewers, we'll see you on the next one. Bye.